back to my channel. I am Nika, and once again, welcome back to my vlog. For those of you who are very new in here, I do several reviews and several behavioral topics as well, because I am a psychology graduate. Now, the only reason I am doing this purposely for the viewers who have been requesting for some topics that are related to some behavioral issues. And I hope you're gonna enjoy it. And one of the topics that I commonly ask and commonly requested from my friends and also from other people who are curious and willing to know about behavioral things. This is actually a very major issue that's happening, that has been happening for the past several years and decades and decades and decades. They have always been asking these questions, and well, I wanted to grant that request. Now, for this topic, I wanted to discuss the very hot, the very hot question about why men goes into extra. In other words, why some men are not contented to be just with their wife for the rest of their life, like accordingly to what they have promised during the wedding, till death do us part. Why? The big question is why. Join me and we are going to discuss that topic. Now, a little disclaimer, I don't want to be acting like a super duper professional here, to be solving any problems or whatsoever. Instead, this is just my personal point of view, and these are the learning I had learned for 4 years of studying psychology, and I wanted to impart this learning to people who are basically quite innocent to what's happening to the real world. Now, anyhow, moving forward, why there are men? Bakit nga ba may mga lalaki na naghahanap ng extra? Why there are men who are looking for extras? Now, number one reason, let me ask you, how do you define marriage? Now, of course, you are gonna ask me a lot. You are gonna answer me a lot of those, very unrealistic answers, or perhaps very romantic definitions, or definitions from the Bible, from the book, whatsoever. Now, I do respect that. Okay, we all have different points of view when it comes to relationship, marriage, whatsoever. But when you say marriage, it normally it's a it's a commitment. If I may have a one word to describe to it, it's a commitment. Now, there are just people who are not ready to do commitment. There are also people who are just forced to get married for some reasons. They call it the shotgun marriage. Perhaps they got the woman pregnant, or there are so many reasons behind. But let me just focus on one thing. Bakit nga ba? Why there are men who go extra? One basic reason, one thing that I have noticed from this are basically because there are lacking in the relationship. Now, the relationship might not be complemented towards each other. Maybe one area of relationship is only focused to one aspect. For example, only for the women, because women sometimes tends to be biased. They always think, oh, because babae ako, because I'm a woman, you should respect me. You should. And there are so many you shoulds in the relationship, when in fact, in the later part of it, will result to something else. Men could get choked. Ayaw kasi nila ng ganon. I mean, when you go into a relationship, both of you needs to be ready. You have to be mentally, emotionally, and spiritually ready to everything. Kasi nga, getting into marriage should supposed to be a lifetime thing. But bakit nga ba hindi nangyayari yun? Most commonly, it is because of, like what I've said, hindi nga nagmi-meet. Or because one of you might have very, very high expectation. Or in this case, since lalaki yung pinapoint out natin, we are trying to point out why men, this time, I would like to focus it on the, on the women's side. Perhaps the women does not meet with the category or the characteristics with the men having a what is this thing, having this marital thing ingredients, because you have to be ready with everything, financially, because it matters, of course. It matters also with the anong tawag dito, the stability of the woman's emotion. Kasi nga, a woman should be more independent. When you go into marriage, you should not think that because I'm a woman, you should treat me as the queen. That would be another topic. I will probably discuss that later part with another video. But let's focus bakit may extra. Why men do have extra? Maybe because the women has so much expectation for men that would result to men's choking. Yung alam mo yung lalaki na nafe-feel nila ginaganon na sila, so they don't want that. So instead of facing the problem or solving it to anong tawag dito, yung kinakausap with each other, they would do something else. They wanted to forget it for a certain period of time. They look for an extra thing. They look for someone that they could divert their attention. Right? So, ayun, that's another one. That's another thing also, is that if women, if you are the woman, you should know your rights. You should know your stand. You should know your limits. You have to act accordingly. That's why it is very important for the women to have their own income, to have their own financial stability, and to have their own power. Kasi nga, if men will notice that you are not an easy one, you are a typical that you can stand on your own, and that you are not dependent with a man, it is very, very vital thing that a man should feel that way. Kasi if the man can feel that, hindi sila basta-bastang gumagawa ng kalukuhan. They're not gonna easily look for anong tawag dito? Yung pangangaliwa. Kasi you're not easy. If they will think na pag iniwan ka nila, basically it's their loss. It's not your loss as a woman. Kasi you can always work your things out. You're independent. You have power. You can find any other man. You can replace them. Make them believe that they are replaceable. Kasi nga, if you are just too adoring him, serving him, I don't see the point of having a marriage. I see slavery. Women are not supposed to be slave. Let's break the culture of being a slave. Kasi nga, our culture in the Philippine culture, because we are anong tawag dito? We are under the Spain colonization. It's always the slavery. It's always, you have to serve men. No! In my own opinion, women is entitled to be even with men. It works both ways. Men should understand women. It's not that, kasi asawa ka, kasi lalaki ka, you need to be served by the wife. I don't think so. That's a big no-no, and that's a big no. And then another thing is that being a wife, of course, being in love with the husband, you should perform the best of your ability. When you have sex with your husband, you have to do the best. I mean, what could be the other things that you can't do? I mean, you couldn't be just the very traditional thing. Ay, kasi nahihiya ako kasi ganito, ganyan. I don't think that's a good thing also to do with your husband. I mean, being in a relationship, being in marriage, you have to go into more deeper experimentation. So, pag sinabing dive ka agad. Pag sinabing ganito, let's try this, try everything. You know, because it gives spice to the relationship. Alam mo yung, kasi, if you have a very boring marriage, ang tendency kasi niyan wala na kayong patutunguhan. You are already at 100% of your relationship. When you hit the 100%, there's always an extra. You can always go 101%, right? Don't let anything go down. When you are at this high, aim higher. That is why being in a relationship, either you are a man or a woman, both of you should do that thing in order for you to have a very exciting, kasi when you get excited and if your relationship is being at the state of excitement and both of you are always excited every single day, there is no reason for the guy or the man to look for another one kasi nga it's already excited. If I am the guy, I would say, I am excited in the relationship. What else would I be looking for? Now, yung failure dyan is that if the relationship is getting so boring, it's getting so boring, especially the sexual part. If the sexual part is really boring, then they will always have an excuse and a reason to find something more exciting. Kaya women out there, don't let that happen for you. And I'm sure there are still a lot of reasons, but for me, the basic reason kasi are those, and that is also very, very important. Of course, there are still other factors that can be considered, but I always believe that in every relationship, excitement should always be present. Otherwise, they will have a reason to look for something more or something else. Kasi nga, the relationship is no longer exciting. Aww. Okay? And I think that's very, very important. And to be able to maintain a very exciting relationship, you have to explore. And with that exploration, you have to talk with each other. What are those things you can explore more? If you want to explore more sexual side, then you go. If you want to go to explore more on the other aspect, go. Not everything is all about sex, but I always believe that in a relationship, excitement should never fade. Excitement in every relationship should always be present in order for each of you to stay. Okay? Importante yan. And that is my personal point of view and assessment to that topic. Now, if you want me to tackle more topic about relationship, about behavioral for kids and all others, let me know. Drop in the comment. Don't hesitate. And then, thank you very much for watching. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. It's Nika Manika Vlog. And please click the notification bell for you to be notified with my upcoming videos. And thank you very much for watching. I hope you learned something and I hope you enjoy it. Bye!